Good evening. Welcome to the Lo-Fi Evening Podcast. Only the evenings where people come to tell their stories and where stories have been told. Yes, today we have a special guest. It's none other than Nangsan. But before we get to that, if you guys like the X Games and especially BMX, there's a video after this that is a teaser. And if you like BMX and if you like all this adrenaline pumping sports, this is meant for you guys. So it's been directed none other by Shillong and Middle Star Marak. Big shout out to you and especially to Jan, who has been in the first episode of the podcast. And the channel name is Free Will. And do subscribe and do hit the notification bell for more updates and especially their full video, which will be in the description down below. So without further ado, check it out. Hey guys, so today we have none other than Nangsan in the scene. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been quite a while that we have waited.
Yeah.
Me being a big fan of yours, especially I was like right from when I was so young. I remember I learned how to grow through you actually. So
That's
yeah.
good to know, man.
Yeah. Man, I mean, I've been waiting for this podcast to start first. I mean, not for a long time, but actually I've been waiting for this and it's more or less like a dream come true. But before we get to talk all about that and how you started and everything, you're into photography, right? I'm not mistaken.
Not really. Like it's just a small thing, you know.
Okay, well, a small thing. How did you start it off? Because you are more or less, like we know you through metal and all that, but photography is one of the things that you like doing. So how does photography and metal come to the scene?
Well, photography is like, when you go out, you see this and that. So it has a different perspective, to you, and it's nice to check out some of the sceneries. It's, I don't know, man. It's kind of a hobby.
Yeah.
Yes. Not a big thing, of course.
Because I saw, as I was researching, and I was like, you're really good at it. I mean, didn't you have kind of like an outlet of maybe you want to go for mass comm?
Not really, man. That's too much.
So did you use like a very high-end camera?
No, I don't own any cameras. It's just the phone.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's so cool if you think about nowadays social media, right?
Yeah.
Everything revolves around thing. And I think more or less you as a band, I mean, with all your bands that you have been with, is more or less from social media that you have really grown.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So how do you... Okay, just give me an understanding of how social media and, music correlate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it helps a lot, actually. Because when we started, there was no social media at all except YouTube, and we didn't know shit about how to come up with a channel or anything. So, and we didn't even have cameras to shoot a video of your gig or your practice sessions. But in a way, we learn about Facebook, about Reverb Nation, MySpace.
Reverb Nation.
In fact, MySpace, I met a lot of friends from MySpace. Like, these two message us about they like our songs and stuff. So in a way, it's good that we could connect with the people who support us, who loves our music. It's a good thing, man. Like, we get to speak to them about what the song is about, what the band is about, and in a way, but it's all depends on us. If we misuse it, then it becomes bad. Like, you get addicted to feed the people who are following you or whatever, right? So you shouldn't take it too seriously. If you take that as your profile for your band, that is good.
To promote your music.
Or your art or anything, man, like your photography, stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, it helps a lot when it comes to such things, And also bad when people speak their minds too much, you know what I mean? They take it so seriously about what's on your mind, and they like literally write what's in their mind.
They call keyboard warriors, right?
Warriors, yeah. I mean, that is not good, That looks very ugly.
They have so many bad comments instead of the good ones, right?
Yeah, man. Like, I think back in the years, maybe 5 years, 6 years ago, it was full of hate comments and everything. But I think right now people are quite positive. Yeah, I mean, there still are those people with negative comments. I mean, we can't get rid of those, of course. But right now, people they have starting to appreciate other people's effort, art. No, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, see, as I look into how now the world has changed, right? Instagram and Facebook and everything, I think these social media platform really brings you closer to the fans as well. I
Of
guess.
course, man. Yeah, man. Like just like back in the day when we listened to a certain band like that we love, we used to think, what do they do? Now if you follow them, you see them every day. I mean, that's not special anymore when it comes to that, because we read about our idols, our heroes in the magazines or articles, but now you see them every day. Like,
it's so surreal.
I don't think that's special anymore, right?
Very, very true. Actually, it's like,
I mean, it's good to get to follow your idols, right? But sometimes like it's quite disappointing as well, because these guys have too many followers.
That's true.
And when you try to reach them, of course, it'll be tough for them to reply to your message.
Yeah.
But some guys do, and it makes your day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember, like, when I first started my Twitter account, I followed Skeleton Witch.
Okay.
Skeleton Witch, so they followed me back. I was like, oh, Skeleton Witch followed
I know
me.
that
It's like,
feeling.
dude. I think, did you like ever message like your idols and like they replied you in some way or the other?
Not really, man. Because the bands that we listen to by now, they have too many followers. But some bands, they do reply to you, right?
Yeah.
Some bands.
You are one of them, I guess. Your band was the first band who actually, I told them, I want to be like you, right? And I think I remember you told me that, don't worry, it'll take time or something like that.
I don't remember that, but I do remember like talking to someone about growling and stuff,
That was me.
So, in a way, yeah, that's good. Like, like we get to know each other.
Yeah, but that's true.
But there are some people who are so annoying, man. They'll be like, good morning, good night, good morning, good night every day. So
seriously,
there are some guys who are like that.
Wow.
You'll get fed up, man. So
good morning, good night, like,
I mean, they're always there, man.
they're like just hovering around you guys, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I appreciate their support towards the band, but of course, they should also give us our privacy,
I think even if you don't reply to them, they'll start saying, "Oh, this band is
I mean, sometimes there are questions that we don't want to reply, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some controversial
so
questions.
It's better not to say anything at all.
Exactly.
Because they screenshot that and make a fuss out of that.
Very true.
I mean, that's what it happens a lot these days.
That's true. Yeah, the negativity is so strong
everywhere, man.
Yeah. Okay, we had a conversation earlier about the Dying Fetus gig, right? It was really one of those gigs where I think you really were, as the band Plague Throat, right? Your ex-members, I think you were really like on the top that time with Plague Throat, with Plague Throat as well as Dying Fetus and everyone, right? But there was an article written against you by some professor. I don't know what's her name.
Yeah, that was So this gig happened in 2014. Yeah, so I think it was the first time we opened for a big band.
The big band, yeah.
And also that band that we follow. So this article came out about this lady. She started she wrote about Dying Fetus, that the youth or the kids in Shillong are badly influenced by the metal bands. Of course, you know what the band names are all about. They are all mostly metaphor, right? It's Dying Fetus. It's not like they encourage abortion or anything. It's not about that. It's about the kid. The fetus is already dying even before coming
to life.
You understand that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to us what we think about that. Like, it's our perspective.
That's true.
So that's what she said, man. She even mentioned that Plague Throat, something, be careful with your lyrics. And I bet she haven't read
your lyrics.
Lyrics, man. I really bet that, man.
I don't know. Metal has always been okay. Yeah, it's very controversial as a music.
Very controversial.
Very controversial, right? If you look any band or anything, but you guys are very more or less very opposite guys, because you talk about, even though you're a death metal band, in the bands that you are in right now, they actually positive and quite, they show the reality of life.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is how did you started this? Do you because we have seen bands out there who have always been about killing girls and decapitating. It's okay, dude, okay, fine, we get that, but you guys are really different. So where does your standpoint when it comes to writing any song, or your source of?
We do take inspirations from the bands that we listen to. For example, Sepultura was one of the bands that have inspired Plague Throat. I think somehow it makes us feel that even these guys are from Brazil, we are from Meghalaya, we face the same shit, man. Same oppression from the government, same oppression from everywhere, society. So that's how we connect with Sepultura and other bands, other metal bands. So even with Cannibal Corpse, they write gore lyrics. So people should know that it's more or less like reading a comic book, a gore comic book, a graphic novel or something like that. So it's like a movie, man. Some movies are about romance, some movies about war. So it's the same with music, Some people are interested in war, So they write about that. So this is band Sabaton. I think they're a power metal band. So even the production on stage, they have barracks.
Oh, like that.
So yeah. So you should check them out. I mean,
James,
I should check
Sabaton.
that. Sabaton, I think, yeah. They play power metal. So things like that, man. People should understand that part. I mean, there are people who are really, they write satanic lyrics and all that. I mean, it's everywhere, But if you find these bands who are, talking about the reality, I mean, there are plenty of bands who does that.
I think thrash metal is one of the few bands.
They talk about war, about radiation, about
yeah,
you understand,
true,
right?
True. Nuclear war,
this and that, and so they talk about dystopia, the post-apocalyptic world that we live in. So, I mean, that's interesting, right?
Yeah,
it's just that you can't make out what they sing.
Exactly.
So that's the problem with people. I think they assume that this is about this or about that.
Just because you growl doesn't mean that you don't have a message, right? You have a message.
I mean, yeah, of course there is a message in a song, and every song actually.
See, even if you look at commercial music, I mean, not now there's too much, but it's too explicit in my opinion. But
it is,
but if you look band, Eminem, right? He has this alter ego called Slim Shady, right? Who kills people and who kills his wife and all that. It's just make believe kind of thing, no? It's
but in fact, if you think about it, he has gone through a lot as a kid, and it's good that he channels that in the music. He's not influencing people to go out and shoot their parents or just because they're not being good parents, So he didn't do that actually. He just channeled it in the music. I think, in my opinion, that's a good thing,
One thing, because all artists are the same, more or less.
Yeah, right? Whatever you go through, all the struggles in your life, they portray it in their music.
That's true.
I mean, it's nice to know that, right? Because at the end of the day, you know that you're not alone in this world. We all have problems. We all have, go through this and that. So, by listening to a certain song, you know that, this guy also has this problem. Or even I do have that same problem. We share the same thing and same music, same thing. So it's nice,
Yeah. Because if you look at metal music as a whole, it's been portrayed in such a way where society says that this is a bad music, it's a satanic music.
Yeah.
So can you talk about, the thing is, how did you, as a person, once you got influenced into metal, what are like the people's opinion towards you? Like, were they like very positive, or they like, because your time was a very 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 conservative?
Yeah. At that time, it was difficult, man. So it was difficult. People think of, first of all, they would think of us as drug addicts. First of all, it's that. So they would always think that I could growl because I do drugs. It's not that I practice so hard that I eventually could growl.
Become good, yeah.
So it's not about that. To people, it's about me doing drugs and worshipping Satan. I mean, I don't think Satan will ever care about me growling, man. I think he has other things to do, man.
So many deception he has.
Why care about a small guy, like, doing things? I mean, being in a metal band. I mean, if he's that evil, he would start a war, But a war is started by a man, right? Not Satan.
Exactly. True.
So, yeah, my mother used to get a lot from the neighbors. So it'll be, kunju pima, so like so ma. So at first it hurts her, and then I started to explain to her that because she started doubting. I mean, not so much, but a bit of some part of her doubts what I do, because people, her friends, her colleagues, neighbors, they would say that your son is doing this, son is doing that. It's just that I'm having fun doing this, man. Like, I told her that we write songs about what we face every day,
Reality.
Like, I don't have to tell everyone that I'm facing this right now. I'm going through this right now. I mean, who will listen to you? So if you could let it out in a song, that's the best thing to do, right?
That's true. Yeah, and one thing about having good lyrics is that you can connect to people as well. So your the bands that you're in has really been able to connect to lots of people, and even abroad as well by now, right? But coming back to the point of your mom doubting you, right? I think it must have taken a lot of time for you to prove her wrong in some way. Like, we can
it
actually
took a long time to prove my family.
So can you explain the story a bit? Like, how were you able to prove them wrong?
So I just told them, like, because when I started, I was 16.
Wow, that's
So I wanted to be in a band. Like, me, myself and Byang, like, were related. So he's older than me. So he's been in a band right even before I started playing.
Okay.
So when I was in, I think, class 7, so he invited me in like to play with his band, but I wasn't allowed because I was too young. I was 13, so I was like, no. So I told him, like, after class 10, you should give me a chance to do it. So he said, yeah. After that, you will be able to do it. So I got a chance. I did it. I proved them. So I used to watch the Wacken DVD a lot, man. So there was one day I called my mom to my room. I was like, you see, this is the festival that I was just joking, man. Like, I'm going to be there one day. I'll go there. So what I'm doing right now, it's a process, that I will reach there someday. And we did it, man.
Exactly, right.
I still remember when I called her when we were in Bangalore after we won the finals in Bangalore. So when I called her, I was like, do you remember the DVD that I showed you once? So I'm going there. She was speechless, man.
Mind blown.
She was really, I mean, she was like, she paused for a while. And then I knew that there were tears in her eyes. I mean, of course they were happy, man. All of our friends, families. It's a big thing, that.
Very proud of you as well.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also very proud of Plague Throat till this day. It made us who we are till this day, So, like, very grateful to Byang and Yaidan and the people involved in the band, like Anish, who manages the band.
True that.
And Harsha also did manage the band.
Shout out.
Yeah, Anish, Harsha, then Zulfi, who was the engineer of the band. So, and a few friends who used to hang out in the dungeon with us. So
it's quite cool.
it's cool. It's a good experience. And
Cheers, lifelong. More or less like a bucket list that you have to
it is
walk in and done.
bucket list. So, yeah, man, like that's has always, it's still here in my mind. Like it's the root, you know. That's where we started.
Yeah, I mean, you have, if you look at your journey from when you were young, saying that I watched Walk-In, and now you have reached this such a point where you can say that I have went there, I've played in front of people, right? I think that time must have been, I think the shall we say, the air that you breathe is quite different, I would say, but as well as I think your ego. But so like, can you explain how you're a very humble guy, right? Because I have met you so many times, even before that we didn't know each other, and I was like, hey, it's like, that's Nangsan, right? It's like, yeah, and you were like so cool and so humble. How do you keep yourself like very like grounded, if that makes sense?
For me, it's of course we've played here and there, but for me, it's still the music, you know. Still I have to be creative. I have to keep on doing this. Like I don't want to, you know, get carried away with all the attention that we have around us, because if we are carried away, because my main motive is to keep on writing music, because the more music you play, the more gigs you will get to play, and eventually if we do better, we'll even get to play more festivals. I mean, that's the idea that I've always put in mind, you know, kept in mind about. So it's never about, you know, like we're not fucking celebrities or anyone, you know. Of course we've represented Meghalaya and India. Like it's a good thing, you know, to represent the state and the country as a metal band. Oh man, it's a good thing. You know? It's a good feeling.
True.
But we shouldn't forget that where we came from also at the same time. Because we had struggled a lot as a band.
Yeah.
We've never had equipments. We had to borrow this and that. And after the gig, we have to return. It's difficult, you know. So, yeah, man, like all those people involved right from the inception of the band till the very day that it ended. I mean, very grateful to those people involved.
Stuck with you, thick and thin kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's the point, no? Like I keep myself aware of the surroundings. I don't want to get carried away too much, you know, because at the end of the day, that won't last long. That fucking thing will just disappear tomorrow. I mean, it's the only has. So that's the thing. You should make it a point that once you achieve something, that's not the end. That's another step forward. You know, you should keep on going. And because I've always believed that there's always something big waiting for me out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, how do you get this motivation to, you know, you said you wrote lots of songs and you keep on writing and you keep on writing, right? Do you have a point in your life where you're like, I'm done with music, I'm done, I'm just going to leave this shit away? And,
there are times, man, when I think like that before I go to sleep. When I wake up in the morning, it's like, I'm gonna fucking give up right now. But then there are times when I wake up, I would, you know, feel so good about this talent that I have and the people that I have around me, you know. In that way, I would feel so grateful, you know. So why not stop? I mean, why stop? You know, why not keep on doing it? Because these people believe in me so much that I don't even believe in myself that much. You understand that, right? So in a way, the people around you, like the good ones, I mean.
Good ones,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So those
not
guys.
the posers. Hey. Anyway.
So yeah, those guys have some, you know, somewhat, they might not know that, but they have inspired me to do better, you know. Like, it's not just me who inspire people, like even my friends have inspired me, but I don't tell them because they will never understand and they'll never accept that. You can be anyone, man, and inspire. That's the thing. I mean, just if you're a good example to someone, that's the best thing to do, right?
Yeah. That is one thing.
I mean, we live in a world where people are like so selfless, man. I mean, so selfish. I mean, like they're all about themselves. So when you drive around town, like those bureaucrats are way older and way smarter than us, right?
Yeah.
And they have degree, they are this, they are that, right? So they should be a good example, right?
Exactly.
Like not us. I mean, I'm just saying
Yeah, exactly.
because they are the ones ruling this state, no? So imagine if they well behave, man, the whole state will be the same. I think. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
we'll have a few people who are.
Obviously.
I mean, we can't get rid of that, but if these people could be good examples, no, like not overtaking your car just because you're a bureaucrat. If you do that, no, people will follow you, man.
The VIP culture thing.
Yeah, so just right there, I'm like, that title being a bureaucrat, you became a stupid guy, you know. Just right there itself. So we should all be a good example.
Yeah.
So that's what being in a metal band. That's what I've always wanted to do. Like be a good example, and because the world is so cruel, man.
Leaving
Like,
a
so
legacy.
much hate, so much cruel, like so much hate, so much shit.
Yeah.
So if you could be something, someone to inspire people to do good,
That's true.
that's the best thing you could do.
Yeah. Because, like you said, if you look at metal as a whole, it's always been like like darkness and raining and satanic, but you counter it with positivity, and which is always good, right? And you even explained about friends, that are always supporting you, right?
Yeah.
So, but being in a band that is really well known, especially in Shillong and abroad as well, is that there will always be those very, just being friends, just riding on your back so that you can get popularity.
Exactly, man. Like there are friends who stood with us, like no matter what, and there are friends who disappear, and there are friends who are only there for the free booze after the gig, and they'll tap your back. You've done really good.
Yeah.
But even though if we fucked up, we'll be like, because they know they get free booze. I mean, this is all a fag. So anyway, man, like. So
how do you filter it out? Like, how do you recognize? I know because sometimes they tend to be like you don't know like who they are.
it's difficult.
It's very
man.
difficult, right?
No, but I'm a person who thinks a lot. Maybe I'm an
Rational.
overthinker sometimes.
It's always good. It's always good.
So when I go home, sit by myself, I think a lot about what happened today. What are these guys that I met today? Like, this guy is a bit odd, and he's a bit cheesy and this and that. Some guys are a bit shady. Some guys are very genuine. Would love to hang out with them again. Like, so I think that works, man. I just sit and think, and
That's true.
I used to have that instinct within me, like if I get a bad vibe from you, and it's really true that
gut feeling.
Yeah, that gut feeling is like no, don't hang around too much with these people and all that. So I used to follow my instincts, and it always led me to a good place, man.
I agree. I think because some people out there will become popular one day because of subscribers or whatever it may be, right? And you guys are a prime example of that, because you were like, even though metal wasn't, shall we say, commercialized, but when you guys came to the scene, when Walken came to the scene, when you went there, everybody knew who you are. It's like, oh, Plague Throat, right? So, but I think, like you said, I think we really need to filter out good friends and bad friends, and maybe those very shady snake kind of friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you as a band and you as a frontman of many bands, right? Are you happy that, now at least people, because of you guys, you made it more, metal is such a thing where it's more or less with the minority knows it.
Yeah.
But because of you guys, you really made metal more or less like mainstream, and people start understanding, oh yeah, there's this band who plays good music. And
I will disagree with you a bit.
Okay.
Like being mainstream. We never wanted to be, that, like most of the death metal bands, like they never wanted to be mainstream. It looks mainstream in Shillong because now people, they know what metal is. I think you meant in that way. That is true actually. Yeah, because but we won't take the credit for all that, because there were bands that came before us, like Adrenaline. I think they were the first band to play metal in Shillong. From the 90s, I think.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a long time.
Unfortunately, I've never seen them live. We played at the reunion gig, but I'm sorry. So at that gig, they were like quite old, man. I mean, they didn't have the original members. So the story that we've heard about them, and at that time it was totally different thing, man. And again, after that we had Project Blend,
Project
one of
Blend,
the bands that really inspired
and
many other bands.
Empty
in Shillong.
Grave, Still Status,
Yeah.
Still Status, and all.
I think those guys came around the same time as we did. Still Status, Empty Grave.
What about Native Rule?
Native Rules, they're quite old. Yeah, they've been active since 2003-4, I think.
That's a long time,
yeah.
right, James? That time.
Because I was still a kid when watching those guys played at I think Rock Idols. There was Rock Idols, the second Rock Idols that happened in Fire Brigade. Yeah, the muddy gig, man.
I think I was still so young to go to those stuff. Anyway,
yeah, and then there's another one happened in Polo. Oh, they were kick ass, man.
Still Status. I mean, Native Rule.
Really want to mention this thing. Like after Plague Throat came into the scene, there were many bands that started to play original music, man. Because we played mostly original music, and the reason behind that is that I suck at playing covers.
You're very good, actually.
Hammer
Smash Face was always your
when we played that song, these guys used to really, really motivate me, Byung and Yaidan. So, so Plague Throat was against at first. We had another band. Against. I forgot the name. No, it was the first band that we did that I was a part of. So there were 6 people in the band, and we came out to 3, 4 actually. So anyway, so this guy, his name is Silrak Momen. He's a very good friend of mine. So I met him when we shifted from Jaya to Sosun. So he is very smart, man. He passed away in I don't remember which year. So he was the one that who inspired me to write our own music, like how to start, how to begin, writing a song. He's not really into death metal. We actually play some death metal with him. So he like it, but he's more into power metal and rock stuff.
Progressive and all that.
No, not really, but power metal and the rock, the glam rock kind of. That is his thing. So, but yeah, man, we wrote some songs together, like for against. We even performed that. So after that, he left Shillong. So there were 3 of us after that. So these guys were like, no man, you have to play both guitar and vocals. I was like, no way, man. Like I've never done that in my life, nah? Like I used to, play at home next to the stereo system that we have at home. Like just play along with the song. I mean, that's it. I haven't done anything like that in my life. So they're like, no, you can do it. Like, even if you can't do covers, just write your own song, anything that you're comfortable with. So, cool, man. I was like, cool. So Byung was, he's older than us, so he already had ideas. He already had some riffs. So, and I remember we discovered Drop D. Ooh, we're like, wow, man. And power chords on Drop D.
DMs know very well.
So we're like, wow. Oh, and the palm muting stuff, we're like, wow, man.
Genta.
Yeah, like, oh, this is heavy.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay. So then we started, from that moment on, we started writing our own music. Like with the covers, it's mostly, we used to, before we start our practice session, we would always begin with a cover just to warm ourselves up. So that will become the cover that we'll play, That's why when we play covers, like we played so well because we did that every day, man. Whenever we begin,
just a warm up.
Just warm up. So it's always that we would play every song that we love, like even the metalcore songs that we used to practice.
Kill Switch, I guess.
Yeah. So we would always warm up with those songs, and then sometimes we don't even practice. Friends would come over. And then we would just jam and we'll have a small kind of a gig,
Just only all of your friends.
Yeah, just the friend circle that we have, and we would just play. But they will ask us, no, you should play your songs, a little smosh to our songs. I mean, that thing is, it's very good. It's a very good experience to us as a band.
Yeah, I mean, if just coming back to that mainstream thing, right? The thing is, what I'm trying to say is that you guys are more or less like the underdog, right? But the thing is, at least now people like in more or less they realize that there's a genre called metal which has
Yeah,
like that you guys brought into the scene. Because nowadays, if you look at any Tom, Dick, and Harry, or even to the with the coming of street style, all that, I see them wearing Slayer, and they don't know the band, but it's
Yeah.
just like okay, it's like okay, you know the
No, like
band.
that's a thing, like
Is it good or is
first, I don't mind, man.
Yeah.
I really don't mind because you're spending money, it's your money, so why would I mind?
Mhm.
Like, but for some people, it's being metal is just being cool, For me personally, it saved my life, man. Like there were dark times in my life. I would go nowhere, talk to no one, but just metal music and the bands I listened to. These bands got me through so many shit in my life. So that's why I'm so grateful to have discovered metal in my life. So it has helped me a lot, and even made me. It's like a therapy, like you don't get to talk to anyone, but you could let it out because that the music it's so intense, so aggressive, and sometimes you have that same feeling deep inside of you but you don't know how to express.
Exactly.
But once you hear such music, it's just like my friend
Just
used to say,
clicks.
it's like a catharsis.
Mhm.
It's like you channel it there.
Mhm.
You don't have to like go beat up people, kick this, kick that, vandalize things, because people always take us the wrong way. Of course, there are guys who are like that. I'm not, I'm not being on
Yeah.
their side or anything like. I mean, there are people who are like that. I mean, who are also metalheads. I mean, like we shouldn't just like the communal thing that we used to have in Shillong. Like suppose now we used to. Suppose some guy gets beaten up somewhere else, they won't blame this or that. They'll blame, it's Shasho Udakhar Hakasi or Shasho Khasi Hadakhar. The media will always portray that. The media will never say that there's no street lights in this locality. It's not safe to pass by. No one has ever said that. It's always about the Khasi and the Dakhar, man. Why not coexist, man? We live in one country, man.
That's true.
Like, I mean, share ideas, do
Debate.
things together so that we'll make our state grow, I mean, right now, like, we're so fucked up, man, right now.
That's true.
Like, we can't even coexist. And we should know that there's nothing else that divides us than politics.
That is true.
That politics has really divided us in so many ways. Every race, every community. Yeah, so it's a bad thing, but still these guys have so much power that they could control everything that's going on in the state or in the nation, no?
I agree. The thing is that sometimes, how shall we say? Like I remember this episode with Banjob. He said very clearly actually. So if you look at the facts, right? The facts are facts.
Facts are facts.
Unless
you
if you
can't change
can,
that.
you can change that. Unless if you can bring your own facts, then we can debate on that, right?
Exactly, man. Yeah.
But mostly people they look at mostly like the chaos than the solution. That's what he said. I remember that very well. And I think it's lacking that solution part.
We don't talk. We don't find solution actually.
It's just
It's just in the air mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about the problem right now, it just ends today and it doesn't continues tomorrow. It doesn't grow. It doesn't spreads around. So so that we can find a possible answer to it. A solution to it.
That's true.
I mean, politics is about dividing people, right? So they love chaos, man, more than the metalheads do.
That's true.
Like our music might be chaotic, but these guys they love chaos, man. But they are really well spoken, So politicians, bro.
Yeah. What can you do?
Like Lemmy Motorhead said, these guys are the profession is to lie.
Cheat, steal.
Yeah. So it's their thing, man. To lie is their thing.
And I really remember that one story where you guys, when you went to walk in, even the CM didn't have time to even look at you guys. And it's like, come on, man.
Man. Like during that time when we won, we didn't expect much because we know what the people here are, you know, and you forget about government, man. So anyway, like there are people who like some family members, some friends who asked us to, you know, approach the government for funds. We did approach them. Of course they funded us, but it's too less, man. Way too less, you know. Like you could award Amit Paul so much, man. He doesn't even have an original music, you know. So like, you know, like we are the originals from this town, you know. That guy is not from from Shillong itself. So I mean, I'm just comparing that so that you'll have a clear picture. So we are representing Meghalaya and India, man, as a metal band. I mean, you should do something about it, no? So when we went to approach these guys, by the look on their face, it's like, we're not interested. But we kept on pushing them, so eventually they had to fund us because we're all over the
pushing
news.
them.
Yeah, because
Wow.
we're all over the news, you know. So even after the fund, we received the funds a year and a half after we came back, man. So
year
that's
and a
what it
half.
happens.
That is.
They don't care about anyone but their pockets, man. Their accounts, their pockets.
That is true.
That's a fact, man. Like we've seen that.
With your own eyes.
Yeah, man. Like we've had bands, artists who came before us, right? Why not help these guys also? You know,
Yeah.
like they have. Soulmate has done a lot. Malu has done a lot. I mean, help these guys out with their albums, with their tours. You know, like get them out there into the world. You know, because they are good. Like
You can actually do that as well.
yeah, man. All of us can. We are like most bands from Shillong are so good, man. Like when we go out to play in cities, they would always be fascinated with the Northeast scene. We'd be like, oh, Northeast bands are like this, like that. But reality is, we know the reality, man. It's sad, you know.
True.
It's depressing.
I think not just metal, but I think all round.
I think, yeah,
all of them.
One thing maybe is if you have a good connection with the guys who do gigs, you'll end up playing at every festival that they do. Or maybe if you have a connection with the government, you'll see that same band every day. You'll see the same band at a wedding, at some mela, at some, you know, we used to have some week in localities. Yeah, those same bands will play only, man, wherever you go.
True.
I mean, there are many other bands who has good messages, man, rather than these bands just play covers, man. And they're playing other people's music and making money, man. And they're so proud of that.
Yeah,
I will never be proud, man, if I do that.
There's no substance to
No,
it.
man, nothing at all.
That's true. And how just imagine like a metal band playing in a mela.
I know, like
like you just imagine
no, you
these
work
guys,
so
like,
hard,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Becoming that guitarist, that vocalist, that
and these
drummer.
guys, they get it.
And now you end up playing Justin Bieber, or because I've seen these bands the bands that I'm telling you, they would play Megadeth, okay, and the next song they will switch to Justin Bieber, man. I think you've seen that in like weddings or some locality week or I mean, if you don't want to hear it, you still hear it because it's too loud, you know. So
you cannot avoid
I mean,
it.
these guys are so proud, man. I mean, these guys are way better musicians than us any day, but it's just that they're not creative enough to create their own, you know.
How do you say that originality in a band is? Do you feel like, as I think that originality brings like the uniqueness of the band, right?
Yeah.
How is it important, especially for uprising metal bands or even artists, to bring out their own originality? Because you're a very experienced artist and you're a songwriter as well.
Yeah.
So can you explain a bit about being original and being unique in whatever genre that you're in?
Yes, being original, it's difficult at this point of time, you know, because there's so many bands have existed before us. Of course, we try to get influences from here and there. So for me, it's important to, because you're an artist, that is your thing, that is your art. So you should throw all your emotions there so that people will understand and could connect to you easily, you know. I mean, right now, I bet you can't feel the emotion covering a song, man.
True. Very few.
Very
actually.
few. I mean, there are like when we did Hammer Smash Face, I thought of someone I hated the most. So I was like, yeah. So things like that. But yeah, so being original is it's important if you want to make it out there, because if you want to play at a festival in Bangalore or Bombay, they will never call a cover band, right?
They'll never.
So
actually.
they'll always look for because these guys are professionals. To be professional, you have to become professional. Eh?
True.
Yeah, so that's what you have to keep writing. Eventually, you will understand how your music has changed over the years. At first, it might suck. It might sound like this and that. But I think it's your music. You will eventually understand
That's true.
how far has it gone.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep on training this craft of writing, right, in order to bring that originality, right?
Yeah,
And like, for example, if you look at you guys, you have came such a long way, and I think in some way you feel like now you're finding that path of being original in some way. I think it took you a long time to reach that point as well.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't mean to discourage others who are still in that path, right?
No,
Yeah,
not
I
at
mean,
all.
not that
Not at
way,
all,
but yeah, for sure. So,
No, we like I won't deny this. We all started with covers. I mean, all of us, but we don't end up just do covers. Like we take inspirations from the cover songs that we do,
yeah,
and we won't even copy because if you copy, it's all the same.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah,
So the best thing is take bits of ideas from here and there,
exactly.
and maybe try create your own thing, because it's like if I cook food, the same food that we cook, it'll taste different. So that's my point.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like just looking from a hip hop standpoint, right? If you look like like the Kendrick Lamars or the J. Cole's, like they don't like they do like say, oh, I like Slim Shady, or I like Eminem, I like Jay-Z, or even you like say Cannibal Corpse, Dying Fetus, and all this. But at the end of the day, you will be you. You'll be Nangsan.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's you. Yeah.
You'll have
So
your
you
own
have
unique
to
voice.
you don't want people to call you, suppose your band, you don't want people to remember you covering, oh, these guys are good with Bon Jovi songs, or with this. You don't want people to remember you for that, right? You want people to remember you for being original. Because when you write your own songs and when people sing along, that's the best feeling ever, man.
That's true.
Like when they share the same energy, even when you're like a bit tired while performing, you get back that energy, man. So
I think one of the most signature song that everybody knows, Present Chaos.
yeah,
I'll say
but
that-
chaos is like whenever I say present, so people will say
Yeah.
chaos, and they'll split up for the mosh pit. I mean,
all of that.
I miss that, man.
Yeah, I think very soon you'll be having a gig, so we'll talk about that later.
yeah, of course.
So can you just describe to me, like, you guys have been in the scene for such a long time, right? I mean, that time was the scene is totally different. We were just having this conversation about the mosh pit. It was like so
Yeah.
scary that time, right? Can you just explain a bit that scene that you were? I mean, forget about the music, but just like talk about the people.
The people there.
Yeah, the people and how they were reacting to your songs and the mosh pit in general.
Back in the day, people, I mean, I feel sorry for the bands that came before us because they never had fans. Like the true fans. They will never give a fuck about what you play. They'll only dance when you play like those hit songs. And the best, I mean, the worst thing is these guys, they'll go to a gig just to fight. That's the worst thing to happen. I mean, for some guys feel so good, so proud of the thing that they could beat up this guy. I mean, that's not what we want, man. Because talking about this, like we all have shit in our lives. We all have mental problems, like, but we don't realize, and because we don't share, we don't talk about it. So when we have such gigs with such fans, it's like a therapy, Imagine these guys, like, we take it as a therapy, and these guys started fighting. So no wonder, like, our parents were scared of us being in a band. I think I get the perspective because they end up getting drunk and fight. I mean, that's the only thing that happens back in the day, We don't do that, man. Like, of course, there are fights, but there have been fights. I used to be organize gigs, what we do is we don't escalate things, we just take those guys out. We just give them an option. If you guys want to fight, you can fight outside, not in the venue, or maybe ruin the whole gig, and you'll get beaten up by everyone else.
That's justice for you.
No, that's what we used to say. Please don't ruin the gig, because we hardly get venues. So if one guy acts smart, like the rest of the people won't know the cause, right? They'll be like, oh, these metal guys are like so rowdy and shit like that, no? So the thing is with us is that we talk to people a lot, we interact with them a lot. So I think that helps, man.
Even like you said, like being on social media as well, that helps as well, I think.
Yeah, you
way,
could
right?
connect to people, no? Like in this world where mental health is big, man, but like I said, we don't talk about it. And suicide, it's quite prevalent, people are committing suicide. There's overdose stuff and shit, so it's not easy, right?
That's true.
And some people would just drink to their death every day, like they just drown their sorrows. We don't talk about that, man. We only point fingers.
This guy's weak.
Yeah,
this guy's coward, right?
Yeah. My father was an alcoholic, so he had a hard time, man. Like,
but I think it's like for you, but you learn, through that, and you actually try to bring the positive of the darkness, I guess I would say.
Yeah, man. Like, don't want to see that happens to anyone, right? I mean, if we could make the world better, why not?
Why
not, man? Like,
yeah.
If we could talk about mental health, why not? Like if it's just that a society feels ashamed to talk about that.
That's true.
Like there are rape cases. Like I have a friend who is a lawyer. We sat down the other day. Like there was a time we sat down and he was telling me that in the rural areas, the father would rape the daughter, and it's difficult, man. Like the clan, the kur, they would feel embarrassed to report this case because the whole clan would be looked down upon by everyone else. So he'll be set free, man.
Wow. And just imagine the person who's a victim to that.
Yes, imagine, man. Like, imagine that kid, how will she grow up, man? So the worst thing about this is like the toxicity that we faced in our lives should end with us, right? I shouldn't pass it to my kids when we have kids. I shouldn't do that, right? I mean, they should have a better life than we do. But right now, it seems like we are having the worst life, man.
True.
I mean, our elders, most of them, they just want respect without earning it. Just because kita like rangba. Come on, man. Like, we have to coexist, right?
That's
we
true.
know who you are, but we respect you because you're older than us. But they bully us instead, man. You get that a lot, right? We have when you have family gatherings and stuff, there is Kwai right there. You'll have one uncle who he can actually take it for himself and eat it. He'll be like, "Pensiam to Kwai." I mean, such
true,
attitude,
true.
like why I said this, because be a good example, no? Like if you do that to your nephew or your niece, he or she will get that shit from you, and they will act like that to the younger ones. So that's what I mean. Like, be a good example, spread that kindness,
Yeah.
Like, but we don't like that. We love our fucking ego,
I agree.
And yeah, man, talking about the mental issues that we were talking about, we should talk about therapies. Of course, therapies are important. Like, go to therapy, do this. But what if you go to a therapy and when you come back home, it's still the same shit that you, had to endure?
Family.
Yeah, family or friends or any circle that you find it toxic, What if that doesn't improve? But people think that you're going to therapy, you'll get better. I mean, if you think a person is suffering from, because with mental issue, you don't see it, man. And people don't even talk about it.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's good that if we could speak up,
Yeah.
like be open.
Because therapy is one of the things that people, I think in Northeast in general as well, they look at it from a different perspective. They say only retarded people they go there.
Retarded, yeah, man. Like they'll call them, they'll think of them as retarded, and they'll be outcasts. So we have a song from Catatonic about that. It's called Leper Pariah.
Check that song.
Yeah, so it's on YouTube. You can check it out. Maybe we'll put the link below. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this song is about that. It's about this person who's an outcast. He's ready to kill himself anytime. So things like that. So that's what we write about. Like
The reality
of the people. Like I all of us have this shit. But if we could talk about this, I think it'll be very, very helpful, man.
Yeah. Like you said, man, mental health, therapy, it's like, if you need help, go for it. Because therapy is one of the things that is scientifically proven, and it helps.
Of course, yeah.
Helps. And like what you said is very, very true. If you need help, go find help, right?
Yeah.
And I remember that we had this conversation as well, is that you had a fan of yours who actually talked about suicide, and so I think if you're okay with it, I think fans should reach out to you as well, because
anyone, if you have anything, just reach out, and we can talk about your problem. It'll be confidential, of course. Like I won't just
blow it out, right?
Since our music inspires their life, I mean, I would love to help them out, talk to them on a daily basis, what they're up to, because because it's so toxic, man. Like the environment that we lived in, like all around us, everywhere, it's so toxic, and these kids, they're sometimes scared to talk about it.
True.
Just like us, man. Like when we were kids, we get scared,
That's true.
So yeah, man. So anyone out there who wants to reach out, they can always
reach out.
Yeah, drop a message and let's talk, man. Like there's no harm, and I won't judge you.
Exactly.
Because I also have the same shit, Even you do. So anyone, just reach out and
we can talk.
Talk about it. We can make our lives, others' lives better,
Yeah, that is so true, man. I mean, see, as I look towards you, you're like a very good role model, especially to lots of because kids. I mean, if you look at kids or even metalheads in general, they're like a little bit in some way they go through a lot of shit, right? Because hence they go listen to the music. So, do you think there's lack of role models nowadays in this world that we live in?
That's what social media has again ruined that. Like anyone can they look like celebrities, they look like this, like that, but even their life is fucked up, man. Like these guys don't even talk about their problems. They have to hide everything and show the world their fake smile. Even their life is hell,
Yeah.
So somehow there are people who would let out all the negative shit, and people would consume that. And with that bad energy around, things will even go bad.
Exactly.
So that positive energy, we need that a lot, man.
That's true. And because we all faced, like you said, anxiety and depression, right? I think even you have faced. Can you just explain, especially to the viewers and the listeners who are listening to this podcast or viewing it, how, in a way to get out of that, the darkness, right, of mental struggle, and to actually get back to being normal? Do you have
it's tough, man. I also still have that childhood shit in me still stuck here. I can never get that. So I don't know, if you have a girlfriend that you trust, you love, you can always, talk to your girlfriend or boyfriend, your friends. I know families are tough to talk about mental issues.
Are you mad? Okay.
What the fuck is this?
Exactly.
So either way, you don't have to pressure them because their generation are different.
Hence,
they don't even talk about this. For some people, this is a joke, when you talk about mental health. they'll be like, oh, these kids nowadays, they're so fragile.
So
Of course,
soft.
man, you've given us so much shit. Of course, we are fragile, man.
Exactly.
You have put us, like indirectly putting us through shit. Not directly, you know what I mean. Indirectly putting us through all this shit, and that we have to endure all these traumas when we grow up, and we would all have the PTSDs. Like all of us have that, I think.
True.
Because for some people, I've sat with people who are way older than us. They would be like, these kids are so fragile. Back in the day, we are like this, we are like that. Man, your life and our life is way different, man.
Yeah, you put it so rightly, because like
We don't have to compare, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they have their own problems. We have our own problems. So why not,
Find a solution.
find a solution? What if I could find solution for your problem? If we keep on talking,
Exactly.
we will eventually find a solution.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not that difficult, if you just need to talk.
just have good
Just
conversation,
communicate,
like
you
me
know?
and you we're having right
Yeah.
now, right? Just have this.
Like even if we're sworn enemies, I think with a proper conversation, we'll forget about all the hate, man.
That is true. And just talk, man. Just
Yeah, like
have
it's
good
no harm
conversation.
in talking, no?
Exactly. And if you have, like you said, a girlfriend, or maybe you have good
Anyone
friends
close
trust
to you,
with,
though,
exactly.
like yeah, anyone close to you, if you're not too comfortable going for a therapy, because you don't want people to know your story, right?
Exactly. And that's one thing, is that being metalheads as well, and James being metalhead. So we were, I think this genre is a very testosterone driven genre. So, we're men, right? If you look at thrash metal, or you look at any band out there, there'll be like, power metal is one very, very testosterone driven kind of, we're like so muscular dudes, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think nowadays we look like this, being testosterone and being like saying that being testosterone, what the hell? So being manly, right? Being masculine, shall we say? It's I think nowadays we have seen that even man, like being manly and trying to be not having emotions. Actually, men are the worst now, because they're affected by suicide rates and
Man.
being so. I think even you would agree with this, is that I think men should be not afraid to talk about mental health, right? Like
No,
right
anyone,
now.
man. Like I've seen there are guys who wants to act tough. I know deep down they are as fragile as all of us when it comes to the mental issues that we talk about. I think all of us have had shit in our life, but some people wants to act tough, just because we are men. Like we are okay, we are always okay. We don't. Well, I'm okay. I'm always good. I'm really. But if that just gets stuck just in you, it affects, man. In a long run, it will affect. By the time you reach 40, you're fucked up, man. And you wonder why, what happened to me, what happened to my family around me, what happened to everyone around me, So if it helps you or anyone, like, do speak up to anyone you're close to.
That's true. Yeah,
I think that's the only thing that can
bring
can help out, bring the best in you,
Exactly. And also, I know an interesting fact about you is that you have a dog named Dorian, right? Dorian,
yeah. He
was, I
lived
think,
for 3 years, yeah.
rest in peace. But
Yeah.
I think he really helped you, I think, in some
He
way.
did, man. Like
After a tiring day, and suddenly
like
the dog was there. It's
he's
like,
always there, it's I have to feed him. I can't just sit around. So
mentally it really helps you.
It helps a lot, man. He's like another therapy, So no matter how late I get home, he'll always wait for me.
That's so nice.
And then, I mean, it's nice to have a pet, Like sometimes you don't feel like talking to anyone.
And it's
Like the pet is, I don't know, they don't. I know I might sound like a psycho right now.
yeah.
But it's fun. It's nice. It's that warmness that you get from them. It's unconditional, that love.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think for people out there who are going through a lot of mental issues, buy a pet, right?
Even if you buy, don't do it just because everyone is doing it.
Exactly.
Not because of the social status.
Not because of trend.
like don't stop buying dogs, man, and stop selling dogs. There are many dogs you can rescue and adopt, you know. Because so many people you know, like want to prove the people around you, just because this guy has this dog, should have a better dog, but they end up not taking care of them.
That is true.
So yeah, man, just stop buying dogs.
If you really want it, then fine.
Yeah, cool. I mean, if you could take care of your dog, fine. But
if you're riding the trend, then
yeah, if you're just doing it for the status, then fuck you, man.
yeah. That's so true, man. I mean, so for the people out there who are listening and viewing, if you guys are going through anything, you can talk to him or me as well.
Yeah, anyone, like it doesn't have to be me or you. You have your close friends.
That's true. Therapist is there.
Yeah, therapy. You can go to therapy.
Yeah.
But just know that it's just you and only you could improve yourself and could destroy your own life.
Exactly.
There's no one else who will do it for you, you know. You'll be the one who will improve your life. You are the one who can also ruin your own life.
That is true.
Yeah.
If you can get yourself down in that hole, I think you can get out of that hole as well, right?
Yeah. Why did you get there at first place?
Exactly, right.
So you can get out as well.
Exactly. So yeah, that was
just so yesterday, Trevor from Black Dahlia also committed suicide, man.
I didn't know that. I saw.
So I just woke up to the news. Oh man, it was so shocking, because this guy is so cheerful in his interviews. He's like all cheerful. He was like he supports every band.
But then his mind.
I mean, come on, man. Like, how could he also fall into this? You know.
Yeah.
It's tough to judge a person, of course, but we don't know what's going on in his head, you know.
Yeah, you're so right. The most cheerful people are the ones who go through a lot of things.
Yeah, like they only smile, right? So, but
inside,
it's hell for them, right?
Yeah. I think for people out there, should try to get therapy. It's not a very taboo thing in Shillong, but you should go for it.
It is quite right now. Some people, they judge you for doing that, but just go, man. Why listen to other people?
Exactly.
Because it's your life, no?
Exactly.
It's not anyone's life. It's your life.
Why
if you want to, because I believe all of us, we should leave a mark, you know, before we fucking go away. So just leave a mark, be a good example, do good and receive good.
Yeah. Through that, I think you'll have a purpose in life too.
Yeah, man. If I do good to you, you will get that good energy, right? And you will do good to your friend, and so that's how it spreads, right?
That is true.
That positive energy. That's how it spreads, right? I mean,
it's very infectious. Positivity is very infectious.
Very infectious. Yeah. I mean, it sounds easy for us to just talk like this, but experiencing it, it's way harder than anyone could think of. So we might be wrong but yeah, just reach out to anyone, right? Just reach out so anyone talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, that is so true. Just having conversation, a genuine conversation where you can actually express who you really are, right? To that person. So the thing is, it's like I really want to talk about, since we have talked about, about mental health and in depth. So let's talk about more about your solo project. I think it's more or less related to this, right? The Tale of a Madman.
Tale of a Madman.
So can you explain a bit what is the concept behind it? Even the album cover is so good. Denzel.
Denzel. I think most of you guys already know Denzel. So about this song, it took me a while to finish because I had so many ideas about the song. So I was like, okay, I already had the title, by the way. The Tale of a Madman's World. So this song is about our daily struggles. So I portrayed in this character the madman in the song. So where he has no one else in his life, like the person he needs. When he needs people the most, they weren't there. So he had to deal with everything by himself. So eventually he killed himself.
Wow.
Yeah. So the message out about this, it's that, like it's you and you, man. It's you could make your life better and you could ruin your own life
Yeah.
in just one thought.
I really like the concept behind the tale of a madman, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like you said, the guy from Black Dahlia Murder, he just like, he's such a cheerful man, but
Yeah.
behind the scenes, he's like suffering from so many
So
things.
many things, yeah.
Right? That's the thing I like about you, is that at least you portraying, instead of death metal being death, right, but it has like a very inspirational, shall we say, inspirational message to the people
Okay.
out there, right? So it's really cool. So getting back, like, since we talked so in depth about about depression, and I think all the guests will be like, these guys, okay, one day they'll be psychologists. Yeah, for sure, we will be that. But it's good. It's
Yeah.
a good thing that people, I think some people who will be listening to this, I think they'll at least understand.
It's
a
high
bit.
time we be more and more open about mental health. It is very, very important, man.
Very important, especially for the men out there. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, man.
don't be
Like,
afraid.
just it's always the bottle, no? They'll just drown their sorrows,
Mhm.
and sometimes it's like a daily thing, when you see a friend drink every day.
And
But when because there comes a time when he just go away, right? Because of all the habits.
that's true.
That's when you realize you didn't do your part, man, as a friend. Of course, it's their decision after all. But being a friend or being someone close to that person, you should try to be there somehow,
At least you won't have that regret.
Yeah, because their minds are like somewhere else, man.
Yeah, I
They
totally agree.
they won't believe anything you say.
They're numb to the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
they won't believe a thing you say. They'll just enjoy the habits.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So guys, don't be afraid. Go out there, and if you have something that you're going through, talk to people. Have a pet if it's what
like
they want.
if you don't, like if you, but it's nice. It's warm. You get that warm feeling.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's go to more lighter things. I think people
Of
will
course.
be,
Like now
we went
if
so
you wanna be
depth.
so
It's like,
depressed,
you're like,
man.
these guys are like I think these guys have done their PhD in something. It's like, okay, cool. Anyway,
No, but
it's important.
before we
It's transitioned.
transition to another topic. So why I stress about this is because we are going to a very fucked up direction, man.
That is true.
So I think it's important for us to acknowledge this, to
That's
talk
very, very
about
good.
this, because it's not just us who has going through this. Even our parents have gone through this, but they didn't know what it is. Since now, with all the education that we have, all the awareness, now we know what is that called, right? We don't just label people as a retarded guy or ubed and ubed and ubuad and all that. He's a buad because of reason, man. He's not enjoying life because as a buad, man.
Traumatic experience.
Because in his head, right, in his head or her head, there's always something or the other that me and you will never ever see it. So and they will never ever speak about it, no. So yeah, man. So be open about your life. I know it may be that hard. It's embarrassing to talk about what happened to your life or anything, but it's worth it to speak up.
Exactly.
It's worth it, yeah.
It's worth it, and
it's worth the fight, than rather than just
give up
and end your life just like that.
It's so precious. Like
life is precious,
so
man.
small.
It's so precious. Like I mean, it's so precious that it's worth living, man.
You do all this because you know that life is precious.
It is, yeah.
Right. You want to leave a legacy behind where people can actually say, "Oh, Nangsan did that, so I could do that as well."
Yeah,
kind of
like,
thing. Right?
Yeah, like at least follow the good path, no?
That is true. Man, I really like this the talk that we have, because this is gonna really help a lot of people. This is gonna help
I
a lot of
hope
people.
it does.
Especially kids nowadays.
Yeah, I really, because if we don't talk about it, who will?
That is true, and such a very I won't say controversial,
it's a
but
crucial topic, no?
Crucial topic. Because I remember we had this discussion with Rachel and even with Kathy. These are makeup artists, and another one is skincare. We talk about even the most perfect people in the world, they still have insecurities. It's like
all that's the point, yeah.
Right, standards so high, and come on, man. But anyway, that is just
Anyway, like this, I used to always believe, no matter how fucked up life may seem, like right there at the end of the tunnel, like you can just make it like that. At the end of the road or the tunnel, there's always good for you. There's always that good thing waiting for you. I mean, just reach out for it and you will get it. You'll get there.
yeah.
It may seem hard. The journey is tough,
But then it's worth
you'll
it.
reach there, man. Just
Yeah.
keep fighting.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's a very good message for everyone out there. And please do get some help and don't be afraid to show. But yes, since we're talking about, we have talked about the music scene and you are mostly in the music scene, right? Let's talk about a more funnier issue. Free tickets, right? I've always met people with always like go to your concerts. Where, hey, is it free? It's like, no, you have to pay $200. Bro, it's like, oh, okay. They'll just keep silent.
Yeah, so that's a thing with most people. They don't understand that music, it's the same thing as any other work, In fact, it takes more effort, and you have to be creative. And after writing the whole song, you won't like it. You have to like fucking cancel it and then do it another one.
True.
And by the end of the process, you would come back to the first idea, and it's not easy, And these people think it's so easy. That's why they ask for free. It's high time people should know that being an artist, it's not just we're doing it for fun, we're having fun every day, we party every day. It's not like that, right?
You have to earn, you have to
You
eat
have
as
to
well.
earn, we all have to eat, we have to survive. And
do you have like, when you meet these people, do you get really pissed off at them sometimes?
yeah,
or?
sometimes, of course, man, I get really pissed off with these guys who only wants everything for free, right? It's like I don't come to your restaurant and eat for free and be like, hey, see you. If you're a doctor, I'll come and I'll be like, after your checkup, I'll be like, hey, see you. We don't do that to those guys, right? We also spend our life, our time, our effort in perfecting in what we do, right? So the same as every profession in the world.
Totally agree, man. I mean, what is the worst experience that you've ever had being you've been a manager as well? I mean, I'm not a manager, but you have managed a show here and there as well, right? So what is the worst experience I've ever found when it comes to these these freeloaders, shall we say?
Oh, it's never ending, man. So versus your own friends, like your own friends, your relatives, they are the ones who judge you for being a musician. And they are the ones asking for free tickets, man. And they're not even embarrassed about that.
Oh my goodness.
They'll be like, and all that. I have classmates who, till this day, they used to say, you write Satan music, right? I said, yeah, you want to hear it? You want to hear it? I can play it for you. So, and these guys are the ones who, will ask for free tickets, free t-shirts, free CDs. They'll never ever understand our effort in perfecting ourselves as a musician.
That's true.
I mean, it takes time to a song, man. Sometimes The Tale of a Madman took me 2 years, I think. Like everything incomplete, to complete the song, to make it sound good. Because I have to present, if I want to portray mental health in a song, I have to write well, right? I have to present well so that people will check it out. Otherwise, they won't. But still, the people don't check it out. Still very less people. But it's okay. Like, I don't mind about that. At least it reached the right people.
Yeah. As long as, come on, if even if the whole crowd doesn't listen, if two people like your music, that's
better than anything.
Best feeling in the world.
Yeah, better than having a bunch of guys who pretend to love you, to like you, but they don't actually.
Yeah.
They're like stabbing you, right?
In the back.
Eating you, killing you slowly.
Cancer, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a tumor growing
and eating your life away.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I remember this one very funny story. Okay, I think I told you this. So I was looking through your this one Tech Death or whatever maybe. I was looking through, and I think that time was Human Paradox just came out, and I was looking through, and it's like suddenly I saw, "Oh, Human Paradox download for free." It's like, oh, okay. It's like, what is your take on piracy as a musician? Do you feel? What's your take on piracy?
I don't mind really because even we discovered our favorite bands through that.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice in a way because imagine if we didn't have that, what will we won't exist. I think we won't exist at all. So, and like it's fun when because there are people who downloads music. Once they like that album, they will buy that album. So there are people. I have friends who do that. Like they would download the particular album, and if they really like it, they would order the album. Yeah. So I don't mind about that as long as it's way better than asking for free.
That is true. At least you're paying the internet. Yeah, that's true.
Just go there and download.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for free.
Yeah, that is so true, man. Because nowadays I think that time was the LimeWire generation. I remember
Yeah.
LimeWire just downloads like
We have
all
that,
songs.
we used to share a lot, right? Music.
Torrent,
We used to
pen
trade
pay.
music. I would give you this band. You'll give me some other
Exactly,
band. Yeah.
The Bluetooth era. Remember, you have to wait for one
We have to
song.
put the phones
Very close, right?
have to attach so that it'll be faster.
Yeah,
Right?
those years was the best, man.
Yeah. So
seriously.
yeah, man. Like it's fun to start from that time and at right now.
Yeah, that's true. But if you can support the act, try to buy.
Yeah. Like just even if you don't buy CDs, because I know most of you guys will be like, I don't have a CD player anymore. It's okay, but
Yeah.
at least go to their gigs. Buy the tickets.
Yeah.
And merch is nice. At least you can wear t-shirts,
Yeah.
the band t-shirts.
And shows
Yeah, yeah. Like
nice.
you can walk around and because I used to feel proud wearing my favorite band's t-shirt. So it's nice, if people do that.
Yeah, I think my favorite T-shirt about yours, you have ever worn, I think is Brain Drill. I think you have, right?
Yeah, it's faded, man.
It's too good, man. I was like, where does this guy get this T-shirt? It's like,
I got that from Bangalore, so
Okay, I really like
so
Brain Drill.
like it's
Beyond
quite
budget,
unique from
yeah.
from the collection that I have.
One of the most technical.
Yeah, they've
death
disbanded.
metals. Really,
Yeah,
one? Wow.
2018, 17, 18.
When I saw
Yeah.
that video Beyond Bludgeon, right?
Yeah.
Ah, my goodness, the bass and everything. Like, oh, okay. But I think you also are very technical in what you do, right? If you look at your evolutionary impasse, that was a very,
That is, yeah.
very,
I think we have evolved over the years.
man, that was very technical.
Yeah, so I'm still very, very proud of that EP. Like
Can-
I sat and wrote down properly. Like I don't care what people think, because that's what musicians should have.
the pen game.
I mean, people might hate your songs, but you could do that. You could channel every emotions there.
That's true.
That's the best thing to do, right? So anyway, talking about that EP, it's fun writing that, man. It's like the fastest, the heaviest, and it's quite technical also.
Exactly. And through all your EPs and full length album as well, it's like it really shows like how you have evolved of the years, no? Because this EP was, man, it must have been quite. It is fun, but it must have been hard to write.
Yeah, while recording, I hated myself. I was like, why did I compose such songs?
Yeah.
Like, because recording, it's never easy, man. I always respect a musician who is good in a studio. You can look good, you can sound good on live, and live doing live shows. But when you come to a studio, you suck. So, I mean, that's a fact, bro.
That's true.
Like, but if you could nail it in a studio, man, I have all the respect, man.
That's true, and you can do it
And
live.
Shillong bands, they still lack that studio experience. They still lack that a lot.
I think
Many artists,
yeah, still need that that extra
experience, yeah.
yeah. But experience will always be the one will teach you
Yeah, but
how to be better.
problem here is if you don't start, no one will start.
So true.
So
Good one. Yeah.
that's the problem. But if you start, everyone will follow you. Everyone will do the same shit that you do, man. And you'll end up being this guy.
Yeah.
No one will know you.
That's true.
So it's always like that. They like, you should be creative, right? Just go out there and
just do
it. No.
Yeah. Don't feel scared.
Don't get scared, because like to all bands out there, like who just started or maybe have started over the years and haven't been out yet, you know. Just keep writing music. Don't be a perfectionist.
Good one.
Because that will kill your vibe, even the vibe around the band, within the band, you know. Just I remember when we came out, man, like we were so enthusiastic. We're like, oh, I wrote the song. Oh, he wrote the song. Okay, let's compile and let's just release an EP, man. So to us, that wasn't our best work, but to some people, that's like the best. So some people would say that that's the best work that you guys did.
Yeah.
So just keep doing it, man. Like, because if you release one song, no matter people like it or hate it, it helps you to begin another one, right? So you can go to number 2, and from 2 you can go on 3, 4, 5, keep on going on. Like if you don't even do the first one, and you already living in a bubble, thinking that I'll release an album one day, I'll open for my favorite band, I'll play this festival, that won't help, man. Just just keep a routine.
Being disciplined.
Be disciplined, because with the routine, you'll be disciplined, and it'll become a habit, and you will love your work by then. Like it's just that the routine is very important, man. It's not just a musician, like anyone else. Routine is very important.
Routine, I think.
And from the routine, you'll become disciplined.
Yeah, that is true.
And from that, it'll become a habit. I mean, so it helps you with being creative.
Yeah, some wise words from a wise man.
So just it's not difficult to. It's not impossible to write a song or do this or do that. But just put your focus. Just put your mind into it. True. The mindset is very important.
And putting your mind, like you said, putting your mind to it, and give it some time as well, right?
It does take time. True. If anything nothing comes easy, right? So it does take time. With the routine, with the discipline, you will build up your a character, right? And then that's how you will understand yourself better in the process, like what you're really good at.
True. So we have talked a huge bunch about music and about depression and various other things. So let's talk about your role model, right? I think your dad is one of the most.
My grandfather and
your dad
and
as
my
well.
father.
Yeah. So can you talk about can you speak a bit about your experience with them and how you're able to become who you are right now, right?
When I grew up in my mother's family.
Okay.
The grandparents, also my father's family. So half of my childhood is with them, and half of. So I was born in Jayal, and then we moved to Laban with my mom's family. So they're not too musical, but they're all hardworking people, man. My grandfather built the house by collecting coins in a lactogen tin. It took him 4 to 5 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so that's what that hard work mentality comes from my mother's family, I think. And my mother has taught me a lot of that. Patience and hard work is the one thing that she has taught me and my sister,
Yeah.
And after that, we moved to Jayal. That's when things change.
Okay.
Yeah. So my father's elder brother, he's very into music. So they share the same interest as my father, the Pink Floyd, the Beatles, Led Zepp guys, and he has 2 younger brothers. So one is a dentist. So he gave me a Michael Jackson. I used to call him Parrot.
Okay.
He gave me a Michael Jackson bad cassette, man. Ah, man, that was like
Was it Thriller?
yeah, still the best till this day. One of the favorite albums. I know it's weird coming from me, like Michael Jackson, but I think that's the root from where I started getting interested in music. So my uncle, the youngest, I used to call him Ado. His name is Korban. So he's the youngest. So I'm quite close to him because we used to play together. Some friends used to think he's my brother because we resemble a lot.
Okay.
So anyway, so he was at a certain part of his life. He turned to that's what we call, like, he started becoming he changed his life being like for Christ,
Okay.
So yeah, so he gave me most of his cassettes. Alice in Chains Unplugged.
Still have it till now?
I know, man. I can't find that because we move a lot from one place to another, right? So that's when I lose most of my cassettes.
Okay.
So he gave me Megadeth, Euthanasia, Silverchair. I still have the Silverchair cassette, by the way, and a few. And so he taught me a bit of guitar. So he used to sing in church. So I think that's the foundation from where I gained the courage to start singing in front of people. So I sang a bunch of times at Chayao Church, Presbyterian Church. Yeah. So I think that's so I'm always grateful to all these people in my life,
Taught you.
I can't, like, when I meet them, it's difficult to
express,
to remember all that shit. I mean, right now you're asking me, so that's how I remember.
Yeah.
But while sitting with them, you forget that, right? So, and after that comes my uncle, my uncle Barry. So he's the eldest. So they were quite close with my father. So they share the same music. So in school, I used to have this friend Haniel. He's very, very good, man.
Like guitar?
Yeah, he's so fucking good, man. Like, I used to envy him. Like, he used to play Megadeth when we were in class 7, 8.
Wow.
I was like, fuck, this guy is so good. So his sister, I think, he used to play. She used to go for music school classes and all.
Okay.
So she has friends, used to bring guitars and stuff. So I would go to his place. My father would visit his brother. So they live close by, right?
Yeah.
So he has a band. He studied in SPA in Delhi. Yeah, so he has this band called Blue Funk Unit. So I remember one morning, like, my father had to go to Delhi with my uncle and his wife, my auntie. So it was early morning. We went to drop him at Civil Hospital to catch a bus to go to Guwahati.
Those times, huh?
Yeah. Oh man, it was like, I was so small. So anyway, he went to Delhi for the gig.
Okay.
And I remember when he came back, he brought I don't know, was it the same time or maybe later? Because they recorded that gig, man. That band, my uncle's band, the Blue Funk Unit. Yeah, so they had that cassette and they covered Hey Joe, Hendrix Hey Joe. I was so proud when I haven't even put the cassette on the tape yet, man. I was like, oh shit, man, this is my uncle here. Like, I have to, one day be someone like this. And yes, they used to play together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you must be very proud seeing that first, like.
Of course, man. Yeah. So my grandfather is like my role model. Like, his character is the best. Like, I've never seen a person till this day who's like him.
Like, inspirational.
It's very, very, very inspiring person.
True.
He's very calm, very, very genuine, very calm, and he's very pacifist about things.
Okay.
So it's nice to know him, and we would listen to his collection together. He likes ABBA. He would listens to ABBA.
Everybody does.
And Cat Stevens, now he's Yusuf.
Yeah, Yusuf.
I forgot the full name. Anyway, he converted to Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so So yeah, man. So that's how I grew up. In the family.
Okay.
Like my father's family are not that musical, but of course they do listen to music.
Okay.
But my father's family, especially my uncle Barry, like he and my father are like
Close.
the guys that like who we are right now with my friends, like so nerd about the
Music.
bands. Like it's not like when I heard Iron Maiden, it's not just Iron Maiden. No, I have to know what these guys do. Like, are they married or are they this? Like, you
Their
you
life
get
story.
into the history of the band, right? So these guys, I think they do that. Like, he has the Beatles book, the Led Zeppelin.
Wow.
He has this Led Zeppelin photo book or something. We still have it till this day.
I think he has all the. I think
They love Led Zeppelin a lot. They love
Wow.
King Crimson, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Beatles. Like it's their favorite.
Okay. Do you ever go back to these things and just to get back that inspirational, that drive of saying, okay, like I'll go back to this cassette to just listen back and just get back that inspiration where, get back that chills of,
Yeah, of course I do that. Yeah, like
even though they're rusty.
it brings smile to your face. It brings that smile. You're like, oh, like at least you know that you're grateful of your life.
Yeah, that is so true.
I mean, there's of course there's a lot of shit that's going around you, but to focus on that best part of your life, that will keep you positive and keeps you keep on going further.
That's
And not stopping it. And so this is how it got me like to to do what I really wish to, being a musician.
I think nostalgia also is one thing when you listen to these songs, like, oh
Yeah, because with my father we listen to music a lot together.
Okay.
So he loves Skid Row. Like he doesn't listen to those stuff anymore. He's only into 60s, 70s, 80s. Voila. So after that, he's not
doesn't listen
that
to-
man. So he likes some of my music, but he doesn't like the growling part.
Okay.
So he likes Children of Bodom because of the guitar works.
Uh-huh.
So when the vocal comes into picture, he's like, man.
Why?
Why, man?
But the riffs were good.
I still remember this Amit Paul time. Everyone was into Amit Paul. So I think they used to have this program at 8, is it?
Probably
7 or 8? I don't remember. Anyway, so the whole locality, they'll put up the volume. And it's, so I still remember this day, we would sit in the veranda, open the door and the windows. He would ask me, just play a stuff lead. Like anything that is heavy, and he loves Pantera.
Okay.
Like he asked me to play some Pantera and said, please, that stuff lead. Like I'm fed up of this Amit Paul, Amit Paul guy,
Yeah.
So that is one good memory about him. Yeah, like we sat down just like friends,
Like father and son.
Like we like, hey,
Cat Steven. Yeah.
yeah,
Father and son.
go, yeah, that is the song.
Yeah.
So I just go and put on some heavy music. I'm fed up of this guy.
I think when you play Hammer Smash face, I think Amit Paul's face comes to you. I was like, yeah.
But yeah, like I think he's unfortunately he passed away too soon. He was only 43 when he passed away. But he has done a lot, even though he doesn't know that, I think.
His legacy lives.
Yeah,
Always
like-
lives on.
Yeah, like so like I'm also trying to, I know he's I don't believe in like the afterlife, like I don't know, once you're dead, you're dead. But I always think that I'm making him proud,
He will. Man, you have left a legacy and a footprint in this, shall we say, in the metal scene and music scene as a whole, right? Which is, I think, some people are just a dream, but you have made it happen.
Yeah, I just hope this keeps on going. I don't want to stop here.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
There are times
it's-
when I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, exactly. There will be times.
I was like, fuck this. I'll never ever do this again.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the end of the day, this is the thing that got me through so many things. So I was like, my father gave me this, my uncles inspired me this, like my aunties, my uncles, or the family, the friends. And now if I just fucking stop this,
Then it's a waste.
I mean, it'll be so depressing
That is true.
than you may think it is.
I agree. Man, you're so right. Because it'll be like a waste of your talent, and you're not doing due justice to yourself as well, right? But now at least you're following your path, and I think it's the right path, despite the fact you have lots of critique. But your haters will be
That's part
haters.
of life, no?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't just complain,
Yeah.
There are people who don't even have food or shelter. We have everything, man. Yet we're like, I don't want to be in this band, or I hate this guy, or I hate.
So stupid.
I know, like, the fact is, we get to do what we love, right? At the first place. I mean, some people say that I'm not proud being an Indian. I'm fucking proud to be an Indian, man. And because, we get to represent India as a metal band, man. And would you be ashamed of that? No, right? You should be proud. I mean, politicians shouldn't define your love for the country or your state or your anything. They shouldn't define that, man. Yeah, they may fuck things up, but you shouldn't follow their footsteps. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
They might be fucking corrupt guys, but we shouldn't take the example.
I agree.
I mean, there's always the good that is left for us. I mean, we should grab it, right?
As long as you still have breath,
yeah,
just do it, right?
I mean, yeah, we might just fucking go away tomorrow. We don't know. So while we still can and put a mark, make inspire people, do good, feel good, you receive good, and let the good energy go pass around, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're so right in every way, and I think you are a sheer role model to most people out there. I can guarantee that. And I've met lots of people who look up to you, even though they don't like tell you like upfront, because they feel that I'm feeling so shy to talk to Nangsan right
No, like I'm glad to know this because all the while I used to feel like shit, why am I doing this? Like I get because like you said, these people don't come to you and say it, and you don't even know like if people appreciate your thing or not. But what you get is only the bad shit.
Yeah.
So this guy is this, or this guy is this.
Yeah.
So because we live in this society where whatever you do, man, they'll never be happy.
That's true.
When you don't get a job, they'll be find a job. When you get a job, they'll ask, hey, how much salary did you get paid for a month? Oh, only that much. They will never be happy, man.
Yeah, that is
so until and unless you're happy with yourself, you're content with yourself, then you can make others happy, no? Like why bother about other people's opinion, no?
Exactly. Live life to the fullest as always.
Yeah, like just do what you have to do.
Exactly. Man, I think this we can go on for the rest for 5-6 hours if you have to. But since people be bored and people Spotify,
it's too long. You'll be like, they'll fall asleep.
But
man.
That's a podcast. I've had lots of people asking, why is it so long? I said it's unfiltered conversation, so it's a podcast.
That's the concept of this thing that you're doing, no?
Exactly. It's not about judging the person. It's just about having just a good conversation.
Conversations are needed in this world right now. Like
I think we lack that.
Yeah, like because we only do it on social media. Because I can't write well, man, on like social media. Like some people are really good at sentences, words. I can't write. That's why, like, if you want to argue, I can do like this.
Yeah,
like face to face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can't write proper English. Like like I might fucked up my grammar.
Yeah,
and
it happens. It
happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
So we're not that type,
Keyboard warrior, shall we say?
So no offense to those people, like, but it's best. It's always best to have a conversation.
Yeah,
it's much clearer, no?
It's something that is lost now, but we should get back, like revive.
Yeah, we should do this a lot. Like even if we do a gig, like we should have some time with the people who comes to the gig. Like the meet and greet kind of thing. I'm not saying this because we think we are fucking celebrities. We are not, man. We don't consider ourselves celebrities at all. We are like ordinary people with different talents, with different interests.
That's true.
I have interest in this. You have interest in something else. But we live the life the same way.
Exactly.
Our daily lives are the same. So why think of ourselves so big,
Yeah.
and think of others so small.
Mm-hmm.
We're all the same, man.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
if we could, have a conversation after the gig, or maybe it's fun, man.
Yeah. Get to know your fans better
Yeah.
too. But yes, the conversation has been good, has been great. It has been, it has shown the light. I mean, it has been not shown the light. What the L? What the L? No, what the F? So it's like is one of those conversations where we have really talked in depth about different issues, and it's really interesting having you here, because I told you it's a real privilege, and I'm a big fan of your music, and I've always been a big fan of you being the frontman of various bands, right? So anyway, Nangsan, thank you for being on the show. So one thing is, I hope the listeners enjoy, and I hope you guys do, follow Nangsan and his journey and the various bands that he's in right now. Parallel Dimension, and the other one is
Catatonic, Bad Dimensions, That Come Chaos.
Why don't you just update on people for the? I think
If we have a future gig, do come and check us out.
yeah, we'll keep all the links.
Because we play angry music, because we are angry people. So Parallel Dimensions is a
Progressive.
rock band, yeah.
Those
That
are
is mellow.
That's sophisticated
That
people.
is, so
Yeah.
about Parallel Dimensions, we will come out very soon, because we had another lineup changes again. This is the third or fourth time, I don't know, man.
They're following the footstep of Ashley dying, I guess. Yeah.
I hope no one hires a hitman.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway,
yeah.
Catatonic, we're doing a gig and we're recording an album very soon.
Oh, that's cool.
My solo project, my second single, it's on its way. It's Zulfi is still mixing the song right now as we speak. That Come Chaos, they are working on something.
Okay. Some snippets.
Yeah,
the
so
link
I think these are the active projects that I'm
working on.
working with. Yeah, the others I'm not sure if they're active or not.
Okay.
But at the moment, it's these bands are active right now. Yeah.
Oh, no problem with that. Is that the thing is, we'll be having all the links down below for all his bands. that
Yeah, you
he's
can
in.
check
And, yeah.
everything in the description. We will
So you
have.
keep in your story all the updates and everything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's all down below, all of his the bands that he's in, and his personal account will be there, so you can always know when it's going to come up. And do buy Catatonics merch as well. I think it's there in Crossover, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah,
Yes.
Aaron's
Aaron's
merch
store. Yeah.
You can. It's in Laimukha, so
Yeah.
who doesn't visit Laimukha?
Exactly.
So drop by at his shop.
Yeah.
It's below Little Chef Cafe.
I think
It's a small
what's
merch shop.
it called? What's
It's
it? What's-
Crossover.
Crossover,
It's
right?
called Crossover.
Yes.
yeah. So it's owned by our bassist,
Mhm.
Aaron, and he also plays for Eternal Scorn.
There you go,
He's
man.
also one guy who's been active in the scene, and I always take him whenever
Needed.
we do gigs.
Okay.
Aaron, come work with me. I'll help me out. We'll make this gig happen.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to Aaron.
yeah, Aaron,
You can go and check it out.
the tough guy.
Those guy. So you can check out his merch. You can buy merch from them and even the CD as well. So the conversation has been great, and I hope all the listeners and the viewers enjoy today's conversation. It's been a long one, but I hope you get some benefit out of it. So without further ado, to end this conversation, I'd like to say thank you, Nangsan, for
Thanks for having me,
sparing
man.
time and talking about lots of different issues that are not spoken too
Yeah,
much.
I don't speak to. I haven't done this to any interview. This is the first time, I think.
I enjoyed the interview. That interview, what? It's a podcast,
It's a
man.
podcast, sorry.
It's a podcast, not interview.
No, we're so used to interview.
Yeah,
so.
interview is Durdarshan. Oh, I hope I didn't spell the name. Anyway.
So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys learn a lot.
Yeah.
To all the bands out there. So if you're a new band, don't rush things. Just go step by step, one day at a time.
That's true.
Just keep releasing material so that you can get to play gigs. And if you have any problem, you can always reach out. I will
That's true.
try my best to help you in any way or form.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, do follow him and his journey as well, because we still have a long journey for him to reach the pinnacle of life, right?
I hope.
You will.
So yeah, all the best with you guys as well.
Thanks, man.
I really wish the best to both James and Hanan, to keep on doing this.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the conversation that we had.
I did, and
So I hope you enjoyed the tea.
yeah, I enjoyed everything about the podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So without further ado, before we end this, all I say is that if you want to listen to us, we're all on the description down below, from Spotify to Amazon Prime to Amazon Music, and different other platforms all down below, and we're on Instagram as well. So without further ado, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Grab your favorite beverage and find someone to talk to, because conversation is lost art. So from me, James, and Nangsan, signing out. Good night.